I recently appeared on Fox Business to talk about the attacks against letter carriers in an area outside of LA called Santa Monica.
There's one neighborhood in Santa Monica, California that's so dangerous the Postal Service will not deliver mail. Larry Elder joins me now. All right, Larry, big picture question to start with. How do you restore a sense of order in lawless Southern California?
You know, Stu, for years you've asked me, when will Californians begin to rethink some of their crazy assumptions, most notably the soft on crime attitude? And I've told you a million times, it will be when the crime hits the suburbs. Santa Monica has a household income twice that of the average Californian. This is now coming home. Recently, a woman, UCLA graduate student, was stabbed to death in Hancock Park, for crying out loud. That's the Tony area of LA, where Maxine Waters has her $5 million mansion. And a few weeks earlier, a Motown mogul who's retired, 80 years old, 80-year-old wife, a man broke into the house, and by the way, they have security on site, and murdered her. And he was a long career criminal, out on the streets, shouldn't have been out on the streets, and the man that murdered the UCLA graduate student was a mentally ill homeless guy with also a very long criminal record. So it's now starting to hit home. Some of these very elite people that have been giving money to people like Gavin Newsom and supporting people like the soft on crime LA County DA George Gascon are now rethinking their assumptions big time.
I've often been asked, when is California going to rethink its assumptions as soft on crime DAs, these soft on crime Democrats? And I always say the same thing. When the effects hit them at home. And that is increasingly now becoming the case.
Take a look at the latest incident. This happened in downtown LA in the jewelry district. A woman walking with a very expensive watch on. The suspects apparently noticed because they followed her. When she took off, they literally ran her down in the street in broad daylight. The woman, you can see, falls to the ground. The suspects grab her watch. They take off. This is the type of crime we've been seeing for months now, and authorities say they have a good handle on who's responsible. They've identified 17 different gangs in South LA that are doing these types of crimes, and now authorities say they're actually in some cases working together. That's something they've never seen, that type of coordination.
The global upheaval caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the crippling sanctions on Russian trade are showing to have massive ripple effects across the world, including right here in the United States. And it's not just at the gas pump. Food prices are soaring right now. And to quote President Biden, with regards to food shortages, it's going to be real. Friends, inflation continues to skyrocket. As a dollar becomes worth less every single day, transition some of your nest egg to something of worth. Gold and silver from Birch Gold. That's right. Birch Gold will help you convert an IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered account in gold and silver. Get started right now by going to larryforgold.com. With thousands of satisfied customers and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, Birch Gold can help you protect your savings. Get started right now by going to larryforgold.com to get a free info kit on gold. There is no obligation to get this info. That's larryforgold.com to protect your savings with gold. And then there was that attack against that UCLA graduate student in Hancock Park, a trendy area in LA where Maxine Waters has her $5 million mansion.
Confronted in a random attack and left for dead. A horrific crime leaves a community on edge. Now a hunt for a killer.
Neighbors and even LAPD detectives are rattled by the brutality of this crime. The suspect later seen just calmly walking away. Good evening, welcome to Fox 11 News at 5. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Maura Lataez here for Christine Devine. Fox 11's Haley Winslow, she's been on top of this story since it first broke and has spoken to the family of Brianna Kupfer.
She's live from where it happened. And Haley, the details here are just heart-wrenching.
They sure are, and the devastation that her family is going through is absolutely horrific. LAPD and her family tell me that they don't believe the two knew each other at all, that this was random, that they think the guy was homeless. I mean, it really could have been anyone. LAPD has been back out here all day canvassing the area, trying to find this guy and figure out the motive. Meanwhile, her family is trying to figure out how they're going to go on without her.
Beverly Hills.
There is shock and sadness across LA and the entertainment industry. The wife of a music titan is killed in her own home.
Yeah, police tell us the victim was 81-year-old Jacqueline Avant, whose husband is legendary manager and mogul Clarence Avant.
And a recent article in the Los Angeles Times says that thieves are targeting the rich. More than a dozen Los Angeles gangs are targeting some of the city's wealthiest residents in a new and aggressive manner, sending out crews in multiple cars to find, follow, and rob people driving high-end vehicles or wearing expensive jewelry, end of quote. And this is from the Daily Mail. Quote, Beverly Hills bandits, how a dozen gangs are targeting cities rich and famous for their designer handbags and watches, with 221 follow home robberies in just 4 months. That's all for today's Larry Elder on YouTube. We're now showing a shorter version of our show on YouTube. That's after being censored and demonetized for a whole year. Full episode can be watched on our website, epictv.com/Larry Elder. That's epictv.com/Larry Elder.